Whoever died?
Yeah.
I probably died like 10 years ago.
Guys, really, am I the right person for this? I don't know the first thing about being the general manager. Really, Cody Rhodes, the face of GM mode in WWE 2K24?
Whoa. Easy, man. Don't be so hard on yourself. Everyone has the potential to be a great GM.
Hell yeah!
Just look at me.
Yeah, man. You're the American nightmare. You don't want to take advice from this guy, because a GM is a lot of hard work. Sometimes it's actually a nightmare. Yeah. Simulate!
We are here on WWE 2K24. My GM mode is another year of the channel for my GM mode. Beetlejuice is back. The man, the legend, the GOAT. We've gone against GMs like Stephanie McMahon, Shane McMahon, Tyler Breeze, Xavier Woods. Now we go against Teddy Long, SmackDown legend, and William Regal, NXT legend. We have the same old rules as last time. We start Season 1 and we get ready for the draft. Same rules as the last game. And we're getting ready to build the roster. With the first pick, we pick the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. SmackDown then goes and picks up Bayley. NXT goes and picks up Big E. With our second overall pick, we pick up the man, Becky Lynch. And then SmackDown goes and picks up Sami Zayn. And then NXT goes and picks up Bianca Belair. With our third pick, we are picking up main event Jey Uso to Monday Night Raw. And SmackDown picks up Veer Mahan. And NXT picks up Damian Priest. With our fourth pick, we continue the bloodline. We pick up Jimmy Uso. Jimmy, my brother. Oh, why? SmackDown goes and picks up Shinsuke Nakamura. NXT goes and picks up Dakota Kai. We then pick up Chelsea Green. I've wanted to say that my whole life. And SmackDown goes and picks up Julius Creed. And NXT picks up Santos Escobar. It's only fitting we finish the bloodline. We pick up the thumb, Solo Sikoa, to finish off the bloodline on Monday Night Raw. SmackDown picks up Nikki Cross, and then NXT picks up Ivar. We see Akira Tozawa, and damn, he's nasty. We had to pick up. Damn, Tozawa. And then SmackDown picks up Isla Dawn, and NXT picks up Humberto Carrillo. We spent a lot of money, so we go and we get Carl Anderson, good value for the money, and SmackDown goes, picks up Butch, aka Pete Dunne, NXT goes and picks up Josh Briggs. It's Tiffy time, we are picking up Tiffany Stratton for Monday Night Raw, SmackDown picks up Kit Wilson, and then NXT picks up Elton Prince, ooh, separated. We need more women, so we go and we pick up Natalya, who's a specialist, can wrestle with anyone. SmackDown picks up Zoe Stark, and then NXT picks up Blair Davenport. We have enough money to pick up 2 wrestlers, but we see Randy Orton. We say, screw it. We pick up the Viper. Look at that roster. Could have been a bad decision. We have no money now. SmackDown picks up Carmelo Hayes. We could have picked him up. And then NXT picks up Andre Chase. SmackDown used their final pick to pick up Gunther. And then NXT picks up Tia Hale. We get to see a look at Teddy Long, SmackDown, NXT with their final pick, Giovanni Vinci, and we get to see William Regal's NXT. Finish the draft with the smallest roster and no money, but I'm okay with it. All that matters is getting to the Hall of Fame. We get the little intro message, to welcome you to GM mode. Triple H saying he has high hopes for us, and I'm all for it. I won't let you down, Papa Triple H. We do not have money at all. And I just realized Beetlejuice's name is Superstar. It's not Beetlejuice, so we start off the GM mode messing up. It's alright, we have his picture. It's better than 2K23 when it was Vince and Charlie Hayes. Of course, the Tribal Chief gets the World Heavyweight Championship. Continue with the Bloodline. Solo and Jimmy get them Raw Tag Team titles. As for the U.S. title, we could have went with Jay, but we go with Carl Anderson as our champ. The Raw Women's Champion, we go with the man Becky Lynch, and we make Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green our Tag Team Champions. Now, you start off with 2 power cards. For the show you pick in the GM, we immediately apply a power card on Teddy Long. I feel like he's going to be the threat. We're declaring war. And then we use Legend Whisperer to boost up the Legend Killer, Randy Orton. Immediately going to book him against our Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Start off Raw with Becky and Natalya going against Tiffany Chelsea for those tag team titles. And they pick up the win. We have our first ever women's tag champs and our first feud. Akira Tozawa doing a nasty advertisement. We have Jimmy versus Jay WrestleMania preview, and Jimmy Uso picks up the win. Jimmy, my brother, a mediocre match. Carl Anderson versus Solo Sikoa, and the Machine Gun Carl Anderson picks up the win in a mediocre match. The Tribal Chief defends against Randy Orton, and the Tribal Chief retains his title.
Acknowledge me.
On to Teddy Long's first SmackDown. We have Carmelo Hayes versus Gunther for the IC title, and Carmelo Hayes is your new and first IC champion. Shinsuke doing some charity. Kit Wilson versus Butch. It should be Pete Dunne, but it doesn't matter. Kit Wilson picks up the win in a disappointing match. We have Julius Creed doing some charity. Zoe Stark, Nikki Cross versus Bayley and Isla Dawn for the women's tag titles. Bayley and Isla Dawn pick up the win. New tag champs. First tag champs. Veer Mahan versus Sami Zayn. Tables match. Veer Mahan, your new WWE champion. William Regal's first NXT. We have Andre Chase and Big E losing to Giovanni Vinci and Damian Priest. New NXT tag champs. Elton Prince doing some charity. Humberto versus Josh Briggs. Humberto picks up the win against Briggs. NXT tag titles on the line. Dakota Kai and Blair versus Tia and Bianca, and they are your first ever NXT Women's Champions. Ivar versus Santos for the North American title. Santos picks up the win. We have Teddy Long at top right now.
Probably like I'm playing with you.
Immediate karma as Teddy Long went and brought the war right back to us after we used the power card. He used the power card. He's warning us, be careful before we go one-on-one with The Undertaker, playa. We have Carl Anderson, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and Akira Tozawa fatal 4-way match for the United States Championship, and Jimmy Uso, double champion, wins the United States Championship. Jay Uso doing some advertising. We have Natalya versus Chelsea Green one-on-one, and Chelsea Green picks up the win against the vet Natalya, starting a rivalry. Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton. Becky, 2 belts, picks up the win against Tiffy time. It is the man time, starts a rivalry. We have a rematch to continue the rivalry. Roman versus Randy, no title on the line. The Tribal Chief still doesn't lose. SmackDown starts off with a triple threat. Isla versus Nikki versus Bayley, and Bayley picks up the win in this triple threat match. No promos. We have Sami Zayn versus Julius Creed tables match. Sami Zayn lost the WWE title, but he's bouncing back with a win. Butch versus Kit Wilson for the second week in a row, and Butch picks up the win against Wilson, not Williams. Carmelo Hayes versus Gunther, table match for the IC title. Rematch, Gunther wins the title this time. NXT starts off with Big E versus Elton Prince after Prince cut a promo. Big E picks up the win, starts a rivalry, retains his NXT title. Humberto does charity. Priest and Vinci versus Chase and Josh Briggs. Chase got a new tag team partner, and he picks up the win. We have Piper Nevin doing a self-promo. Hale and Bianca versus Kai and Davenport, and they win the titles this time. Back-to-back matches. Ivar versus Santos, rematch for that North American title, and Santos retains his title. Teddy Long remains to be on top, but William Regal surpasses us for second place, and we're at the bottom.
He ain't got no match for me.
We have Triple H letting us know the rundown with how stamina works and how Carl Anderson's running low on his stamina. We had Akira Tozawa to the Randy Roman feud. Triple threat to start off Monday Night Raw. No title on the line. This time Randy picks up the win. Probably pinned Tozawa. Natalya versus Chelsea Green. Rematch from last week. And Chelsea Green picks up the win. Continues the rivalry. Jay and Carl versus Jimmy and Solo. Tag team match for the tag titles. And Jay and Carl Anderson are your new tag champs. Tiffany versus Becky for the women's title. And it is Tiffy time as Becky 2 belts is gone. SmackDown starts off with Veer versus Sami Zayn rematch, no title on the line, and Veer continues to dominate. He dominated NXT in 2K23. Bayley does a promo. We have Isla Dawn versus Nikki Cross. Zoe Stark runs in, helps Nikki Cross, gets the win in a mediocre match. Shinsuke and Kit Wilson versus Butch and Julius Creed. Kit Wilson and Shinsuke pick up the win in an okay match. Gunther defends his title versus Carmelo Hayes. That title's been the main event 3 weeks in a row, and Carmelo wins it back. On to NXT, we have Briggs and Chase versus Vinci and Priest. Wow, Briggs and Chase might be these tag teams if they win the tag team titles. Prince calls out Big E. Hale versus Piper Nevin, normal match, and Piper Nevin wins her debut match on NXT. We have Humberto cutting a self-promo. No tag team action, just Bianca versus Dakota Kai. Bianca Belair picks up the win, beating Gilly's King. If you know, you know. Blair Davenport self-promo. Santos versus Ivar. Talking about just rematch after rematch. And Ivar finally wins that North American title. We jump back into second place, baby. We started this war, and Teddy Long wants to finish it, hitting us with the bad timing power card, but we don't have any wrestlers on a weekly contract. But not only that, William Regal wanted on the action. We got double teamed, but we won't go out like that. We'll win. We have Teddy Long telling us he remembers what we did to him, and he's going to beat our ass. But we're ready for him. It's wartime. Roman Reigns, he's excited for the pay-per-view. He wants to go there. I won't call it a PLE. Jimmy wants to be a master on the microphone, so we'll let him. Right after they used their power cards, we scouted, we found Austin Theory, and we're signing him to a 10-week contract to Monday Night Raw. Becky and Natalya defend against Tiffany and Chelsea. They were our first tag team champions, and Becky and Natalya retain as they were the first ones to win it in a match. Jimmy Uso doing some charity as he's the champ. Tozawa versus Austin Theory one-on-one. Damn, Tozawa, you're nasty, beating A-Town down. Jey Uso does some charity, brother-on-brother action. Carl Anderson versus Solo. Speaking of brothers, speaking of the bloodline, the thumb Solo Sikoa picks up the win. We have Roman versus Randy right before the pay-per-view, and the Tribal Chief picks up the win. We have Zoe and Nikki versus Bayley and Isla Dawn. Tag team action. Bayley and Isla pick up the win in a great match. No promos. Kit Wilson versus Butch. They continue to book it, and Butch picks up the win against Kit. Finally starts a rivalry. Sammy and Dewey Carter versus Veer and Shinsuke. And Julius Creed ran in, new tag team champions, or first ever. Carmelo Hayes and Gunther main event yet again. Submission for the IC title, and Gunther wins it back this time. Big E defends the NXT title against Elton Prince one-on-one, and he retains. So far, NXT hasn't signed any new wrestlers. Ivar calls out Santos. Piper Niven versus Hale one-on-one. This time, Hale picks up the win against Piper Nevins. Then we have Blair Davenport doing some charity. Tag team action again. Chase and Briggs versus Vinci and Priest. This time, Vinci and Priest pick up the win after losing 2 straight. Humberto doing a self-promo. Bianca defends her NXT Women's title against Dakota Kai. Bianca retains against the King. Teddy Long has been dominant.
Oh, fuck, man. What the hell are you trying to do to me on here?
We should not have messed with Teddy Long because he is using yet another power card on us. He means business. Chelsea Green wants a match against Becky in the next 2 weeks. She got it. Then Jimmy Uso's happy we kept our promise. Time for the pay-per-view. I don't know what it is. We have Becky versus Tiffany for the women's title, and Becky Lynch wins back the women's title, and she gets injured for 4 weeks. Chelsea's not getting that rematch. Tozawa versus Theory versus Jimmy and Jay. I was going to say Uso and Uso for the U.S. title, and A-Town Down is up as he is your new United States champion. Chelsea Green versus Natalya one-on-one. Chelsea Green picks up the win against Natalya, growing the rivalry. We have Carl Anderson versus Solo Sikoa. Carl Anderson picks up the win. Solo was supposed to have a match for the U.S. title, but Jimmy won it. Roman versus Randy. Legend Killer versus God Mode. And the Viper's your new champion. SmackDown's pay-per-view, we have Carmelo Hayes versus the newly signed Omos. And Omos picks up the win and injures Carmelo Hayes. Shinsuke does a promo. I'm surprised Gunther didn't have a match against Carmelo. Dawn versus Cross. Cross picks up the win against Isla Dawn. Speaking of Gunther, Gunther calls out Carmelo Hayes, who's injured. Dewey Carter versus Veer. Can he stop Veer Mahan? He cannot. No one can stop the Veer. Then we have Julius Creed calling out Sammy Uso. Butch versus Kit Wilson. Will this end their rivalry? Butch picks up the win. No, actually, the rivalry was pretty new. Sami Zayn does a promo. Zoe Stark versus Bayley for the women's title. Bayley retains it. I almost burped, but I didn't. Time for Teddy Long's first pay-per-view. Dakota Kai versus Bianca for that NXT Women's title. Bianca picks up the win, retains in a classic back-to-back against Dakota. Blair Davenport cuts a promo. Piper Niven versus Tia Hale. Piper Niven picks up the win against Tia Hale. Continues the rivalry. Elton Prince versus Big E for the NXT title. Third time's the charm as Elton Prince is now your new NXT champion. Classic match. Chase and Briggs versus Vinci and Priest. Humberto runs in. Gives the win to Vinci and Priest. Ivar versus Santos for the North American title. Yet again, Ivar retains. Santos cannot win it back. William Regal surprisingly jumps to the top.
Love that shit.
Triple H is letting us know we are not using our call-out promos properly, or any of our promos, really. William Regal, he wants to talk that trash, saying he's going to take our fans after his dominant performance, jumping from last place to first. Shout out William Regals. He knows what it is to start war. Then you have Teddy Long talking about being at the top of the charts. And I just got to tell him, I'm Beetlejuice, baby. Solo Sikoa wants a main event. He got it. It's thumb time. He's going to be thumbing somebody. Then we have Austin Theory saying he is the guy. He wants a match against Tozawa and Orton. He's going to do it. It's going to be crazy. I don't know what we're doing next show, but it'll be good. That's it. It's shake-up time. These cards weren't really that great for us. We ended up going with the Fatal 4-Way. But I hope you all enjoyed the return to my GMO, the return of Beetlejuice. I'm going to try to have fun. I hope you guys have fun. Have a beautiful day. See you next time.